So I'm reading the 48 Laws of Power. I also wanted, this was about work, like business related stuff anyway, that I wanted to read. I wanted to read this book, and it's been recommended from like, I've heard it hyped up from a few different people. And I'm in just the beginning section, and one of the things it's talking about is the master, and what would the other one person be called? I forgot what he used. I forgot the name he used for the star in the master or something like that. And I've never read anything. I don't think I've ever read anything like this before at this point, or with this perspective. And the way the reader is describing it, and he's using past rulers that kind of had this dynamic where it was like there was a duality, and what he was using examples of where when there used to be what were they called, royal courts, like different times in history, and there was these different dynamics between. And even with the science, they used Galileo as well as an example of, like, Galileo was a scientist, and he struggled for a long time because people would just gift him. He would give people like his little inventions, and then they would gift him, but they didn't really give him money. And so he was struggling for a long time. And he was like, I've got to figure out a better way to make this work because I want to keep doing this and putting myself out there. So Galileo figured out that he was like, I have to figure out how to work this out with people. Like, it's not just me doing my thing. Like, I have to make this work in the bigger picture. And he used one of the specific things that he did, the Medicis, I think is what it was called. I'm not that familiar with all of his work. I think he was an astronomer, right? I don't know. Okay. Anyway, and he coupled up with somebody who ended up hiring him so he could have a full salary and continue this work. So he realized he had to be use humility, and I don't know what all the things he did to get to that, because I don't think it went into detail about how that happened, but he had to humble himself, I guess, in a way, because I think that's one of the things that you get. I've felt that so many times of just feeling like, does anyone even appreciate anything that I'm doing? What is the point of even doing this anymore? How am I going to make money? I felt so similar to that. And I was just kind of and then it sort of is weird because you're just then what can I do? I don't care about, I don't think, because I don't see I used to dance and do performances, and I love to perform, but I didn't have my family gas me up of you're a star. They kind of did. They told me I had a stage presence and stuff, but I didn't embody that, because my brother was also an artist, and he went through that too of having to figure out how to make his art, how to make it profitable. So I didn't see myself as a star energy, but I'm shifting my perspective now as I'm reading this to having a different sort of understanding about it and the way that the power dynamics work. And there were some other examples that the author is giving of of situations where that the person that didn't understand that, didn't see how they had to humble themselves, ended up dying, because they tried to outshine the master. And the kings who actually had power, they were all right, well, you got to go. And one of them was just exiled and sent to prison, and for trying to be a part of him didn't recognize that it was pride, that he was she was trying to show off to the master, who was helping to fund whatever this person was doing. I don't remember all the names. Plus, some of them were other Italian and French. So I'm sorry that it's that part that makes it confusing to not give the names. But there were 3 different instances that I've read about so far about this master, sir master, I guess, dynamic. And so one example was Galileo, and he figured it out. And then because in the bigger picture, Galileo was like, I want my work to be I want to create a legacy. I want it to be I want to make an impact. So how do I make this work, and how do I afford to live? Because I got to live too to be able to do this and stuff. And the other two people were like more of like a royal court dynamic. And then the one guy, like I said, he was just like showed off, was like being really flashy about his like whatever he was doing, and the king didn't like it. So he decided to exile him and send him to prison. And then the other dude, like he figured out a way to get him in trouble, which was like very cunning, like the way with the situation, like it was like a blindsided kind of thing. And then the other dude ended up getting killed because he was trying to outshine the master, and he didn't recognize the freedom that he was given. He didn't appreciate it, and I don't remember specifically what the instance was that made the king mad, and the way that they never like the way that he died, it was like they never were able to, because at that point they didn't have like fingerprint stuff, so like I don't think the king ended up getting in trouble, and so it was just the dude had died. So I wanted to bring those examples because there is that of like, I'm seeing that now. I'm trying to understand it on a deeper level of what that means and how that's kind of playing out with this male and female stuff that we're going through, where women are choosing to be single and trying to figure it out alone, and yet we've been kind of exiled, and so now the men are kind of experiencing what it feels like to be exiled. However, the way that man and woman are created and the way God created us, we don't really know what that means. Like, how are men actually going to handle being exiled? How are they actually going to handle their loneliness? How are they actually going to handle not having enough women around them to help them deal with their demons or whatever it is, like whatever they get from the feminine energy? Like, what is that going to mean? And first, it is scary. It is scary is not the right word. It is something to consider, and for us to not think that we can bypass nature. Like, I know I needed that wake up call. So I'm just giving this because I'm trying to understand because like going forward, like if it weren't for the men in my life, we wouldn't be here. Like, I would have died probably. Like, literally, that's what the exile was like for me, because I didn't know where to go for food, and I ended up finding the food bank and using that resource. But like, my dad was one who helped us, and I wasn't ugly to him, or like I tried my best, and he wasn't more available. Like, he chose to be an alcoholic. So it's like alcoholics are known to not really, like, they kind of isolate themselves and stuff. And I don't know, I want to figure out what there's something I can possibly do to like be there more for my dad now. But like, and then my ex as well. Like, my ex hadn't been paying the consistent child support payments. He just dropped $700 to pay for Katetti because I chose not to put him in school. Like, that was a choice I made. I didn't know she was going to charge us that. I don't know what I would have done. I wish I had known ahead before that. But I'm just making the point that like, that men are provider. God does give men that power in a sense. And a lot of women, even like I'm learning about this dom and sub stuff. There are women. I mean, there are women who go to a dom sometimes, but it's much less common. It's much more common for men to be the ones. And these women who are like, I'm not going to do this, but like, there are women who choose to be a financial dominatrix. And all of the stories I've seen, I'm not saying it's not out there that there are women making buttloads of money, but it's men dropping money on women. So I'm just making the point that like, God set up the reality that we're in a certain way. And I know for me, I don't want to go through exile again. I don't want to go through not knowing where to go to have food, and not knowing where to go to like have someone to talk to when I'm fucking struggling, like out of my mind. And having, like, instead of it being like I have people to go to, I have neighbors that call, or whoever they are. I told them I wouldn't confront them. I'm still not 100%, like, without actually knowing, like, having that confirmation. I don't know for sure who it was, but like, I don't want to be in situations where the people around me are calling CPS on me. Like, I want to live in a fruitful environment. So I just think women need to sit with that of like, we do need to appreciate all of the men who have been there for us. And I'm assuming as well for OF, like I made good money that helped us to get through last month and this month so far, because of, it could have been some women, but I'm pretty sure it was all men, all the men that were paying for that. So I do want to say thank you to anyone who has helped support me in this. And it's tricky when you don't have people like saying like, oh girl, you're meant to like do your own thing, or like you're a dancer, or like I don't even know, like that, like seeing myself as the star still just feels weird to me. So like but regardless, like I don't want to be disrespectful to or ungrateful for the people that have like helped me to keep going, like literally helped me to keep living. So like I would, like if it weren't for these men in my life, I don't know, like what, we would be homeless. And that sucks. And I don't actually know exactly how that's gonna work itself out either going forward. But I think women need to be protected. Like I would never say that you should put yourself in a situation where you're with a guy for security or something like that. I'm just making the point that like we do need to, like, mental health wise, and I don't know what other ways, like, be there for each other. And I know I have been really harsh about the way that, cutting people off and even being like verbally aggressive, and seeing that as well from that's that mother wound healing that I think I'm working through. But I want to say thank you to the men who have helped support me. And I'm trying to learn everything I possibly can and heal these other aspects of myself, because I don't want to not be grateful or be like trying to think that I can bypass nature or something like that. Or I don't even have like, even after all the things I've seen, I don't have like a disdain or like a hate for men. It does make me sad that there are a lot of men that don't even want to change, like that they're just okay with their demons or whatever. Like, I don't fully understand it, but I also don't want to, I don't want to be disrespectful. Like, I don't want to go to that place of like thinking that I'm above nature or something like that. I recommend this book to anyone because I think it's blowing my mind. And it's just not that master relationship in the way that it is in nature. Like, that's what I mean about the duality and the way God created things. It's like, I don't think there's any, like, things are gonna have to shift because man and woman are here together on purpose. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Okay.